Hi friends, today we are going to discuss ion beam sputtering. So the principle includes all about sputtering. We all may familiar with what is sputtering. It's a process which takes place when an energetic beam of charged ions bombard on the surface of a substrate. It can also be defined as the process of kinetic ejection of atoms from the surface of the substrate, primarily due to the momentum exchange between the incoming ions and the atoms of the lattice. The process basically takes place from the surface of the substrate. Now, the sputtered particles. The ejected particles can be neutral atoms or positive and negative ions, as also reflected incident ions. These particles are called as sputtered particles. Simultaneous with the process of sputtering, other phenomena like electron emission, radiation damage, doping, and chemical reactions, etc., can take place. The relative importance of these other processes depends upon the incident ion mass, energy, angle of incidence, target temperature, etc. And now, sputtering yield. One important quantity relevant to the process of sputtering is the sputtering yield. It is the average number of atoms ejected from the target per incident ion.
Now you can see a figure which shows a typical yield curve for the sputtering process. In this figure, the yield of the sputtered species is plotted against the incident ion energy. There exists a threshold for the process. Above the threshold, the yield increases with the incident ion energy and reaches a saturation value, and then falls off at higher energies beyond 30 k electron volt or so. This decreasing tendency at the higher energies is due to the increasing penetration depth and the consequent increasing energy loss below the surface, due to which not all of the ejected atoms are able to reach the surface and escape. And the saturation region occurs at higher energies for heavier ions. The useful range of energies is considered as ranging from about 8 k electron volt to 15 k electron volt. And our sputtering yield is also found to depend on the angle of sputtering also. So the yield has a maximum around 70 degree. This is evident from a typical experimental plot of the yield versus angle. This is the figure. You can see here sputtering yield and sputtering angle. And the energy required for the sputtering at oblique incidence is found to be less than for normal sputtering. And various models have been proposed to explain the sputtering process in various energy regimes, like a threshold region or low energy region and high energy region. But there is no satisfactory and universal theory for sputtering which covers all energy regions. Angular distribution of the sputtered particles approximate to a Gaussian with the half widths approximately 20 to 30 degree. The energy distribution of the particles depends very much on the angle of ejection and also increases with the mass of incident ions. For incident ion energies up to 1 k electron volt, the ejected ion energy varies from 1 to 15 electron volt. And the sputtered ion energy decreases with the ion energy and decreases rapidly below 200 electron volt. At these lower energies, the distribution approaches the Maxwellian distribution. For higher incident energies, the dependence of the sputtered energy on the incident ion energy is weak. The velocities of the sputtered atoms are generally larger than those of thermally evaporated particles. This figure just shows the dependence of sputtering energy on the incident ion energy is weak. The velocities of the sputtered atoms are generally larger than those of thermally evaporated particles. This figure just shows the dependence on the ion energy is weak. The velocities of the sputtered atoms are generally larger than those of thermally evaporated particles. this figure just shows the dependence of sputtering yield on angle. We already discussed that the sputtering yield is found to depend on the angle of sputtering also, and the maximum is around 70 degree. Okay, and the rate of the sputtering can be calculated from simple considerations of the volume removed per atom. This expression is usually used for calculating the thickness in centimeter removed per second. So T equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 4 msji per rho E. Here m is the mass of the target atom and S and rho are the area and density respectively of the target. Ji is the ion beam current. Typical rates are about 10 raised to minus 4 micrometer and micrometer per second for a semiconductor target with low current density. For a metal with high current density, this value can be reached up to 1 micrometer per second. So that's all about ion beam sputtering. Now our next topic, which is applications of ion beam sputtering. Important application of the sputtering process is to deposit thin layers of metal or an insulator onto a suitable substrate. The rate of deposition can be easily calculated from the expression given. We have already discussed about the expression, which is this expression, and by making simple assumptions about the location and the distance of the target to substrate. The advantage is that any material can, in principle, be sputtered deposited onto a given substrate. Unlike evaporation, deposition, there is no temperature limitation. So also the comparatively larger energies of the sputtered ions, approximately up to 10k electron volt compared to a fraction of an electron volt for thermal atoms, leads to greater adhesion between the deposited film and the substrate. So next one is in the microelectronics. In microelectronics also, sputtering finds important practical applications. An inert gas ion beam like argon can be accelerated in vacuum and directed to impinge on a target. Suitable shadow mask can be used to produce suitable patterns on the surface of the target. The definition of the patterns is sharper than can be achieved by conventional chemical etching techniques. And the next application comes in microwave systems. Ion beam micromachining using the sputtering technique is used to form precision holes to define the geometry. The process is also used for producing patterns on the metallic films with high resolution. The sputtering process has been of special utility in the case of NIFE magnetic memory film, as well as ferroelectric and piezoelectric thin films of CDS, ZNO and PATIO3, etc. So the next application is in as a surface cleaning technique for metals and semiconductors or insulators. Sputtering offers better results as compared to other conventional techniques. So I guess that's all about the applications of ion beam sputtering. So now let's take a look at the summary of ion beam sputtering. So just take a look at the summary of the ion beam sputtering. Ion beam sputtering utilizes an ion source to generate a relatively focused ion beam directed at the target to be sputtered. The ion source consists of a cathode and anode with a common central axis. Applying a high voltage field of 2 to 10 kilovolts, the anode creates an electrostatic field inside the ion source, confining electrons around a saddle point in the center of the source. When an argon gas is injected into the ion source, the high electric field causes the gas to ionize, creating a plasma inside the source region. The ions are then accelerated from the anode region to the exit aperture cathode, creating a collimated ion beam. The resulting ion beam impinges upon a target material, and via momentum transfer between the ion and the target sputters this material onto the sample. Next, take a look at the advantages of ion beam sputtering. I guess this is not in our syllabus, but just have a look at this advantages. The first one is able to deposit a wide variety of metals, insulators, alloys and composites. So that is exactly what is the application of ion beam sputtering. And the next one is replication of target composition in the deposited films. And the third one is capable of in situ cleaning prior to film deposition by reversing the potential on the electrons. Better film quality and step coverage than evaporation. Can use large area targets for uniform thickness over large substrates. Sufficient target material for many depositions. No X-ray damage. The next one is disadvantages of ion beam sputtering. This is also not in our syllabus, but have a look. The first one is substrate damage due to ion bombardment or UV generated by plasma. Higher pressures 1 to 100 millitorr, less than 10 raised to minus 5 torr in evaporation. More contaminations unless using ultra-clean gases and ultra-clean targets. Deposition rate of some materials quite low. Most of the energy incident on the target becomes heat, which must be removed. Difficult to deposit uniformly on complex shapes such as turbine blades. High performance thick coatings are hard to produce due to high internal residual stress levels. So that's all about our ion beam sputtering and its applications. So I guess it's all clear. Thank you.